my friends. Bonjour, bonjour. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. This is Cynthia. Hope all is well with you. We are going live tonight. We have a special conversation about this coming election. If you are here in the United States, or if you are an American citizen anywhere in the world, I encourage you to watch this live with my special guest. I am waiting for my guest to arrive, so I hope you all are doing well. This Yes, my friends, you're going to love this evening's conversation, so stay tuned. There she is. One, two. Wow, there they are. Wow. Look at the beautiful ladies. We have one more. Guess we are waiting to. There she is. Well, once again, good evening, everyone. You are in for a wonderful, empowering conversation this evening. We are Haitian women, Haitian American women in politics. My guest is Bukia Shalvire, who is the former Peabody Republican City Committee Chair. We also have Tamisha Seville, who is the 2024 Democratic nominee for Massachusetts Governor's Council in District 2. And we also have a very good friend from my hometown, Miami, Florida. She is the vice mayor of the city of Miami. Her name is Marie Estime Irvin, and she's the vice mayor at the city of North Miami and the chairwoman of the Haitian American Elected Officials Network. Bonsoir, ladies. Good evening and welcome.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, bonsoir tout le
Um,
monde.
Once again, friends, I am your hostess with this panel. I am Cynthia MacLean. I am a library trustee here in Massachusetts, in Framingham, Massachusetts, and I'm also the former vice president of the League of Women Voters here in Framingham. So, Haitian women in politics. Ladies, let's try to keep our conversation um, 30 about 30, no more than 1 minute, if possible, just so that everyone can get a chance to share their perspective. So, as we approach this election, what do you see as the biggest challenge facing American democracy, and how can your leadership help address it? Let's start with Tamisha.
I knew you were going to start with me first. What we can do is definitely get the word out, get the vote out. Collaboration is the key. But I think what's most difficult is that um, we have people in the community that really are not educated in what's really going on. So they're going based off of social media, they're going off of what people are saying that are actually hurting our communities. And we know there's a big, our presidential election is what's in the forefront right now. So when you have, as Haitian American women, when you have, a former president who's looking to come back and talk about immigration to a point where it's degrading, you feel like you have to constantly let people know that we all came from different
Hmm.
backgrounds to this country to get better opportunities. So I think it's having them, one, educate them about the immigration policies and being able to have a conversation with love and respect and understanding that we all have different opinions, but we can agree to disagree. And just keep getting the word out there, keep going and showing up, do door knocking. I think that has been significant in my race, and showing up everywhere, whether you're welcome or not, and having uncomfortable conversations with people and making sure that they understand how important this election is.
Bukia? Bukia? Are you there? Can you hear me? Oh, it looks like her screen is
Yeah.
frozen. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. In the meantime, Vice Mayor?
Yes, thank you so much, first of all, for gathering these beautiful young lady and women leaders in our community. As you've mentioned, this is, and we say this every election, and every election is important, but I can honestly say that this election, this is not only an extremely important one, it's going to be an historic one, um, and it is an election that even the last day we need to encourage people to go and vote. I preach this every day that we need to be more civically engaged. We need to educate others about the process and the importance of being in the process. We forget sometimes that our culture is afraid of politics because of our background, because of the 30 plus years that we had in dictatorship, and our democracy in Haiti, I'm talking about, hasn't been, we haven't got it right, so it's so discouraging. But it is important that we all participate in the areas that you live. If you live in an area, you're paying taxes for schools, you're paying taxes for roads, you are involved whether you like it or not, so you might as well be present, and
Yes.
and be involved. Again, this election, not only is it important to vote for the president of the United States, for someone that cares about the immigration issues of our community, which is one of the major things that we're faced with, because we're not a lot of us are not we're not born here. We're American. We come from, we're of Haitian descent, and so I happen to be born here, but my parents migrated here, and so I
Yes.
need to know that I have a president that is going to be conscious of of respecting immigrants of any kind, especially Haitian.
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two, we need to also be very active in our local races. As we all here have been elected or trying to be elected, know that um, not everyone's going to get a chance to see the president, but if you elect us, we have to forge relationship with the county, on a county level, on a state level, on a federal level, and we're going to be your mouthpiece. But you're going to catch us at the groceries, you're going to catch us at church, you're going to,
Right.
when your garbage needs to be picked up. So your local election is actually, if we had to say what's more important is your local election.
Yeah.
But so
Right.
I
Right.
encourage everyone to vote from top to bottom, bottom to top.
Yeah.
You know, all of it is important. Knowing who your judges are. And that takes a little homework. Even us seasoned politicians, sometimes we don't know who our judges are. To take the time out to get to know, who your judges are, who your school board members are, who your state representative are, your state, your so it is so important to be part of the process. And I would dare even encourage others that if you're looking at this and you're interested, maybe you should think about
Definitely.
running as well. You should think
Definitely.
about
It's
running as well. And sometimes if you're frustrated, think about running as well.
as
But
well.
just
I'm
be
so,
involved.
it's unfortunate that our sister Bukia is not on the live here. Somehow she's having a bad connection and cannot sign back on. If you're still watching, sis, please try to sign back on, sign out and sign back on. We will be right here. Thank you for sharing, Vice Mayor. Tamisha, tell me, does your Haitian heritage shape your approach to politics and public service? Mary just mentioned our history in politics in Haiti. Does that have an effect on how you will lead?
Um, I don't think so. Reason being is I'm a Haitian descent. My parents came here in they migrated in Boston, and none of them ever talked about politics to me. Like no one in my family's politics. It was mostly church, school, and become something. And I just happened to decide one day that I'm gonna run for office because one, I'm civically engaged in my community. I'm in everywhere in my community, working with young children, working with women, the youth, and I'm just out there. I love helping people. And someone came up to me. Do you know? I have had several within the last couple of years. I've had some people come up to me. Do you know how I can get information about this? How I can get information about that? So I tried. I threw my hat in for state representative a couple of times, And, I came up short, which is okay, but it was all God's plan preparing me to be where I am now. And what I would love to do is, given the opportunity to be the next governor's council member, I'd love to use my experience, collaborate with other leaders within the community to see how I can be an instrumental piece for my country and advocate for those who have come here in the Biden humanitarian parole program, to making sure that they have avenues, they have access to resources. And me being able to speak the language
Mhm.
fluently, I'm able to help them understand how things are managed here in Massachusetts, and how I can be able more of a resource for them as well.
Mary, has your Haitian heritage shaped your approach to politics and public service, and in what ways?
And in what ways has it shaped it? So that's a very interesting question. Um,
Has it had an impact on?
so in my home, let me just say that in my home, even though it was taboo to speak
Mhm.
politics outside of my home, but in my home, politics was spoken of, and the way that it was viewed, it was to be the voice of the people, and it's to do, and it's to, and so I so in that regards, that influence that I've learned at my house is, to serve others and to think about
Mhm.
others before you think about you,
Right.
and that's kind of how I lead.
Yeah.
There are times I have to remember, wait a second, you got to take care of you. But it's like when there's an issue, I'm basically on 24/7. Like I tell people, this is not a
Right,
part-time job.
right,
It's not a full-time job. It's an all-the-time job. I mean, literally, people come to my house and knock at my door and say, hey, by the way, I need help with this, or could you help me with that, or I'm having this problem with this, or I'm looking for housing. So my family, more so my family values, have shaped me to be to be the leader that I
right,
am.
I would
right,
agree
right.
too. I would just piggyback a little bit. It's almost a sin for us not to put people before us in the Haitian household. And I would agree with my sister here, is that we are raised through the Haitian culture to love those, even those who don't love us, to always be there to support one another in the community, and always putting them first before you. And that's just how we were raised. And I think that it's all in us when it
Yes,
comes to the culture.
it's in us to think about Pepla, the
Yeah.
people.
Yes.
Yes.
It's always about
As you
Pepla.
know, whenever growing up, it's like, oh, m'ge pou voye tel cup pour tel moun, tel cup, so it's always sharing. It's
It's always
always,
sharing.
always
Besoin,
thinking
ou
about the
besoin
others. Always,
bénédiction. Ou besoin bénédiction.
yeah.
Pren un peu comme la voye by ma tante, bon Dieu béni ou. I'm like, okay, thank you. I will do it.
This is so fun, interesting, because here we are, Haitian American women in politics, and we're speaking Creole.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just flows
Yeah.
out, right? Okay, so we're still waiting for Bukia. My husband is trying to get her on the line here to sign back on. Let's talk about some pressing issues do you feel should be prioritized during this election, especially those impacting the Haitian American community? What are some of those pressing issues? We know it's immigration, but what are some of those pressing issues?
I would say health disparities in the medical health field, making sure that we are getting the resources and accesses that we need to get the best doctors, and to not overlook, our population when we go to the hospitals or get doctor visits. I think infant
Yes.
mortality is also an issue too, where women are not being served as Black women when they are pregnant, and getting the concerns that arise within the trimesters that they're in, and being overlooked. As we may know that, um, minority women are more likely to die by 200% than their
Mm,
counterparts. So I think health
mm.
disparities is really something important that we should be focusing on, making sure that everyone gets equal access to healthcare.
So I would say for me that it's outside of immigration being the top issue would be housing.
Mm,
I think that's an issue that affects all of us. but in particular, I would say the Haitian community, also potentially a language barrier, even though in South Florida here, in my city in North Miami, we make sure that things are in English and in Haitian Creole, and in Spanish, because we have a Spanish community as well, where we are culturally sensitive, but I wonder if in other parts where there are, maybe outside of Boston, I mean Massachusetts, Florida, and New York, is there a cultural sensitivity for migrants, especially of Haitian descent, so that you get to understand. So those are the concern, but housing would be, I would say, a concern that addresses even our community. Education, and that is kind of related with immigration,
Yes.
but because one, like it was mentioned earlier in this call, the only thing that our culture knows how to do is l'école, l'église, la caille.
L'école. Right,
So
right.
education is really not an issue, but it's just tied in with immigration.
Well, as far as education, I'm happy to say here in Framingham, the local government here is sensitive. When we had some of the Haitian migrants come here to Framingham, I was one of the people that helped with the translation, and I made
Mm.
sure that they understood that integrating them into the school system is very sensitive
Yes.
because of the culture shock.
Mm.
They come from a place where it's very strict in school. And for instance, you don't look at an adult in their eyes, or, when you're speaking
Yes.
to them, right?
Form of
But here
disrespect.
in
Yeah.
America, if you're speaking to an adult and your head is down, they will tell you, no, look at me, I'm speaking to
Hmm.
you. But
Hmm.
in Haiti, it's like, it's a sign of disrespect.
Right.
So I had to help them understand these things. And now they do have certain things, certain people in place to help not only with translations, but to understand the cultural differences as well.
And
Because,
yeah, that's wonderful. And also, I would say mental health. I know someone
Yes.
had put that in the comments, because not only you're in the where they're exposing to the different culture and lifestyle here, but we are not. We need to understand the trauma that they have gone through in Haiti, and
yes,
all the violence that they have to see. And we have those who have gone through some traumatic experience with leaving the country just to be in a place of freedom. So their mental health may not be in the same as us. So it's important to focus on the mental health piece and educating them. It's okay to speak to a therapist. It's okay to speak to someone, because as you may know, our culture does not believe in speaking to a therapist. It's
right.
almost
You have to
something.
always be strong,
Right,
right?
right,
Right. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, and to kind of tie it back to our topic of election, where you're talking about the mental health component. So if you remember a couple of weeks ago, when a certain former president talking about they're eating our pets,
mm,
that actually, and that happened in Springfield, Ohio. Believe it or not, that effect didn't only happen in Springfield, Ohio. Wherever Haitians were, students were in the world, their counterparts started asking them, "Is this true?"
mhm.
And
Yes, I
some
want to come
kids,
back to that, Marie.
yeah,
I want to come
yes,
back to that, and I wish. Oh my goodness, I wish Bukia was
right,
here, was still here, and was able to connect, because she represents. Let me see if I can get her on again. I just sent her another request. I don't know what the connection issue is,
right,
but our sister Bukia feels differently, and she wanted to share her thoughts
right.
about that. So let me ask this question. Hopefully, we can get her on. Bukia, I just accepted your invitation again. Please keep trying, because we would love to hear your perspective. But in the meantime, like you said, former President Trump made negative remarks about Haitians. How do you believe such comments affect the political landscape for Haitian Americans and the broader community? Marie.
Again, so like I was mentioning, I think it has had an impact. And believe it or not, I'm going to take the positive angle. At first, when I heard, when I heard the statement, I was upset. But then I said, wait a second, no, this is an opportunity to remind everyone of our history and who we are. Remind them that we are the first country on the Western Hemisphere to abolish slavery, remind them of the Louisiana Purchase. And because of the Louisiana Purchase, there are 15
What do
states
you mean?
that.
What do you mean by the Louisiana Purchase? What is that
So
about? What do you mean?
what I mean about the Louisiana Purchase, because of our we dare to end slavery in Haiti, it caused the French to be afraid, and they sold that piece of land to the U.S.
Oh,
And that land that was sold, basically there are about 15 states that came about that. So we are our influence and our influence have not just have touched the lives of the world, and especially the U.S. So when I heard those comments and those negative comments, it was just an opportunity to get on media and to tell everyone that would listen about who we are and what we're doing. And as chair of the National Haitian American elected official, I'm always proud to say that we are approximately 200 elected official, current and former elected official from and we are elected in almost every aspect of the political spectrum except for governor and U.S. senator and president. We have
yes.
judges, we have mayors, we have, we have it all. And so when we come to this country, what we deposit in this country, we don't, we're very productive citizen. So for me, it was an opportunity. The part that concerned me, like I was mentioning before, and you brought up, is the mental health component to our kids. But again, this is also an opportunity for us to sit our kids down and say that you are kings and queens and where you come from, and you need to put your head up high, and when they say this about you, this is the response that you need to say back. So so I have a tendency to try to look at the cup halfway full, and I just took the attitude of looking at it halfway full. But it was nerve-wracking hearing those comments. But what we need to do, and all of us, especially in the Haitian community, and not just the Haitian community, the Black community, the immigrant community, and all, listen, you need to vote for people that have your interest in mind. And there are two candidates running at the top of the ticket, and it is very clear.
Mhm.
One is saying that they're gonna, as soon as if they get elected, they're gonna pack you back. The other one is saying that, you know what, we just want a legal pathway. We just want we want you to come in a legal format. We're going to help you and
Right.
extend your stay, because first of all, this country was based on immigrants. The this I
No,
don't know who are the true.
you're absolutely right. And you didn't even mention what happened in 1779 in Savannah, Georgia. But I'll let you come back to that.
I'll let you mention it.
Yeah, as Tamisha chimes in on that question.
I mean, it was dehumanizing, as a Haitian American. You know, our country was found off of immigrants, and we are the ones that make the world go round, and we all come from different backgrounds, right? So it's important that we know that this former president has mental health. What would provoke you to say something to that effect where you pick on a particular group of people to say they eat cats and dogs? And, someone like that who is bringing out hatred, who is bringing out nothing but discourse in our community, it is clear who to vote for, because all we need is peace. We need humanity to come together and to make sure that we all are given the opportunity to live the American dream. That's what our parents came here for, and we're able to contribute based on the work and the public service that we're able to do for our community. So it is important that we continue to focus on moving forward and getting ahead with peace and love, and making sure that we work together and keep our immigrants in a position where they're able to move forward as well with the resources and access that they are going to get from what our vice president is working on to provide for them in this country. And it's just disheartening because the world we were founded on racism. Racism still exists, and to put war, this is nothing but um, a racial war to me. This is nothing but a racial war that he's bringing out. he's making people hate each other, especially in the community. I just think that we need to see the big picture. If we don't get
What
the
do you say? What do you say to our sister Bukia is not here? There are Haitian Americans who are Republican. There
Mhm.
are Haitian Americans, despite the remarks made by former President Trump, who also say that when Obama was in office, that was the highest rate of deportation for Haitians.
Mhm.
There are Haitian Republicans who still support former President Donald Trump. How do you respond to them? Or what are your thoughts on that?
They can do whatever they want. We can agree to disagree. I know who I'm voting for. I know who I am. I stand on democracy, and it's very clear. I'm not going to challenge or debate anything that doesn't serve me. So, only thing I can do is look forward, focus on what is important, and that is making a pathway for the next generation, making a pathway for them to make sure that they have a voice. And I'm using my platform to make sure that their voices are heard and that there is opportunity for everyone in this country, regardless of who you are, where you come from, what color of your skin is. We can agree to disagree, but I'm standing on democracy and I'm standing on what I believe in.
Marie?
So, so as again, Neon is a nonprofit, a nonpartisan organization. So
Yes.
we have and we embrace Haitians of all both sides of the aisle, right? And I don't have an issue. We may disagree, like my friend said, we may agree to disagree on some issues, but there are some things that I think that are basic. There are some things that are just kindness, just joy, just respect, just words matter. And I cannot follow the leadership and or respect the leadership of any party that would degrade, um, dehumanize, um, dismiss an immigrant group in the way that it does, and it's continuous, and it's not just limited to Haitian. Just this weekend, in their midst there were people talking about Puerto Ricans, so I don't know if there's a problem with people of color, I'm not sure, but someone that a leader shouldn't shouldn't have hate in their heart, or shouldn't want to hate a particular group. And so it is evident that I will be supporting in my individual capacity, because not as vice mayor, not as chair of Neon, but Mary Esme Irvin as an individual will be supporting, I will be voting and encouraging people to vote for Kamala Harris, because I believe that she has she understands, and I'm not always going to agree, and I don't agree with everything that she says. We have brothers and sisters at home and relatives. We don't always agree with all of their methods and their way, but there's a way. There's a way that I want to see my leader. There's a way that I want to see my leader be, to speak, express, and and those hatred rhetoric do not, they don't fly for me.
Right.
So whether you're
Okay.
Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. Words matters.
Bukia, I am sending you a request to join, and it keeps coming back. If you like, you can sign out and sign back in. Maybe that will work. Or you can, oh, I wonder, this might be different. Maybe we can do this. One moment, ladies. I have an idea. Mr. MacLean, can you call Bukia and I'll have her on speaker? That can work because I don't want to hang up and she did not
Get
get a
chance
chance
to
to
say,
speak. Right, because she keeps, here she is. She said, I wish I could have joined. She just made a comment. For those of you just signing in, you're watching Haitian Women in Politics.
yeah,
We're talking about the upcoming election.
yeah.
Um,
But while she's waiting to come on,
yes,
I
go
think
ahead.
I think the message that the three of us are definitely
Mhm.
trying to convey is: get involved,
Yeah.
vote. As much as I don't want you to vote for the other, but be a part of the
Right.
process. It is important that you are a part of the process, that you are engaged, and then when you that are more seasoned, even after you vote, grab someone. Don't vote alone. you know, we have to participate. We have
Okay,
mhm.
I have Bukia here. Bukia, are you here?
Are you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Now this is weird what I'm doing here, but I'm trying. Ladies, can you hear?
Yes.
Bukia, go ahead.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm having some technical difficulties. Yeah, every time I send the request.
Okay, that's fine. We're listening to you now. You can go ahead.
Okay. Well, ladies, thank you for joining the conversation with Cynthia. And Cynthia, thank you so much for having. You did ask about the importance of voting. Can everyone hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect. Yeah, I believe voting is your power. You get to decide who wants to represent you. Yeah. Okay. I think there's a little lag. The conversation is like.
That's fine. Just go ahead. You can go ahead. You can continue. We can hear you.
Okay. With the regard to the comment that were made by the. Yeah, I am continuing, but there's still a delay in time when it, you know, uh, what I'm concerned about the comment that was made, and the ladies have already talked about when the former president talked about, you know, patients eating. We can look at it into two different perspectives. Number one, there is a vast brothers and sisters coming to the United States through the Biden program. It is imperative on us to educate our fellow brothers and sisters about cultural differences. It is for that, and I know and I've witnessed it. I'm born and raised in Haiti, and there are some cultures, it's not what spread, but there are some groups who love eating cats. And I've witnessed it with my own two eyes. Now, the question I we should have asked first, is this really happening? And if it's happening, we should call upon the current administration for putting our brothers and sisters in human situation without food or water while they have something to fed. And if the only option left for them is to use whatever is available, it's not any different than any human could do. Hunt for food, just like people do both fishing to feed their camp. Now, in the state of Massachusetts, I cannot speak for the entire United States. Massachusetts provides a lot of support and services to the newcomers. I work for the Office of Refugees myself, which we help resettle refugees and the newcomers. We help them get onto a path to self-sufficiency, give them English classes, match them with vocational English classes and jobs so they can support their family. A lot of states do not have those services. So therefore, when Haitians migrants landed in different parts of the country where there is no such support or as much support as we have in Massachusetts, some of them they were told about the services that are provided in Massachusetts, which is a lot more beneficial. And we have the shelter law, which makes everyone with a homeless have the right to housing under Massachusetts law. And Massachusetts is the only state that has that law called the shelter law. So a lot of migrants gravitated from Massachusetts because there's better support. So there's no guarantee that in Ohio they have the same support that we are providing in
Bukia, let me ask you this. You said Massachusetts has a shelter law, and it's one of the one or the only state that has all of these services for refugees, and you are working in that Office of Refugees. As a Haitian American who is affiliated with the Republican Party, should former President Trump wins the election, will those services continue, or will it end? What will happen? What do you think will happen? Bukia?
Well, yes, I'm here. The shelter law, if that's service or working chance, it will be decided based on the legislature here. Can you hear me? I'm here.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel? How do you feel? Let me ask you this while you're still here. What pressing issues do you feel should be prioritized, especially those that will impact the Haitian American community?
Well, first of all, I will encourage everyone to vote for who they believe in. It is not my place to say you should vote one way for another. I like my freedom to choose who to vote for, and I encourage everyone to vote for the candidate that will best serve the country. I myself was for Trump. The reason why under the Biden administration they have assassinated the president of Haiti. They have it's that these nations have provided heavy weapons to gangs in Haiti, and they've never tried to provide any assistance to protect the community. I have families in Haiti. Every 2 months, they have to move from one place to another because of gang violence. I have nieces and nephews who were doctors who had visas for over 20 years, but decided to stay in Haiti and serve. Now, because of the gang violence, they have no choice to come to the United States and start anew. And those people were well to do in the country. So with the Biden program, it's great. I know the situation is hard in Haiti. Of course, everybody's looking for a better opportunity like we've had, like many other nationalities have. But when you let the country in a position where all the cream, the teachers, the doctors have to leave the country, the cream of the crop, who will treat our sick? We will educate our children in the future. The Biden-Harris administration had the opportunity to call a halt of the crime in Haiti. But no, they wanted to create an opportunity to open the floodgates to everybody come in. And
Mm.
while everybody come in, that's fine. People want to come in. But in order for a country to function, to be efficient, we need doctors, we need educators. So the Trump administration, of course, what's more present for us in the United States, we could see families were able to make ends meet when Trump was president 4 years ago. Family was put on the table, gaps regardless of your social economic status. But now under the Biden administration, you see the middle class is strengthening, the poor are getting poorer, the newcomers are getting tons of money to begin with, but not enough assistance to help them become sufficient.
Thank you, Bukia. Thank you, Bukia. I'm going to stay on the line. I will let Marie
Mary.
share her thoughts.
Yeah,
stay on the
yeah.
stay on the line, sis.
I want to just state that most of the conversation I didn't hear because it's on
Ay,
our
ay, ay.
it's hard for us to hear, but I was able to hear, you know, the part that she mentioned about President Jovenel dying on the Biden administration and you know and etc. What I could, you know, if I have to be totally honest, we've had dissatisfaction with both sides of the aisle in terms of the way they've treated the Haitian community. You know, if I could be honest, but I I think it's I think that we the diaspora, one of the issues that we're having, I know that I have, is that we're not speaking in one voice. And there were, you know, I know that I've had conversations where I was asked, should the United States go in to help out? And the community was like, no, because of 1915, of the occupation that happened between 1915 and 1934. So that's one of the reasons why, at least what I'm privy to, why the United States didn't go, and they went instead through the United Nations or the it's escaping my mind, but to the United Nations route, instead of America going in. Now we have a lot of back and forth, which America has publicly said, you know what, we are at fault and we should do better by Haiti.
Right. So
But moving
that's
forward,
what
what I
Bukia
think,
is saying. She's saying
right,
it is under the Biden administration that the Haitian president was assassinated and there are floods of guns being sent to Haiti. Haiti doesn't produce guns. So where are the guns coming from to, to give to the gangs? That's exactly what she said.
right, and we have, as Neon, we've addressed that. We have spoken to the administration and said, hey, we don't manufacture gun. You need, you need to go out
Right.
there. But like I said, both sides of the aisles, both times when governments were there, they haven't necessarily been a better, a good sister nation to each other. But moving forward, I can tell you personally, especially as chair, that I have been speaking to administration along with some of my colleagues, that we're like, look, this is, and I believe that um, this administration was trying to do well. I believe that if we have a Kamala Harris, I truly believe that we will have the dialogue enough to come to help remedy some of the situation. That's what I'll say right now on
Regardless of party affiliation, Republican, Democrat, Independent, can we, as Haitian Americans, work together for the benefit of our community, despite the difference of opinion, difference of perspectives?
absolutely. I believe
I
that.
think so because we're doing it now, whether we're Haitian or not. That's what it's called, bipartisanship.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
think
we are
there
doing
is
it right now.
I think we're doing it now, whether we're Haitian or not. But as human being, the right thing to do is have a dialogue, have a conversation with those that may have a different opinion. But the end goal is to make sure that we're moving forward together. We will never agree to disagree. We are entitled to believe what we want to believe. We are raised in different households. We have different ideology, but we have to not. We need to stop thinking about us. What we think is right. We need to think about the next generation. What are we going to leave behind for them to move forward?
Right,
All
but
this back and forth, all this back and forth. Haiti has had this issue for a long time. We have been in the political forefront every presidential election. So this is nothing new. It's easy to point the finger and blame who's doing what and who's doing not. Whether you've been a Republican president or a Democrat president, Haiti has had this issue for a long time. My first protest was in the early or middle 90s when they claimed that Haitians brought AIDS into the United States. And I was like, what is going on? My parents took me to City Hall in Boston. We were protesting, and I was so intrigued that we had so many people, and it did not matter whether you were a Republican
Yeah.
and Democrat at that time.
but
The what was powerful is that we came together and was like, we demand justice, because how can you bring a disease, how could we as Haitian people bring a disease of something that is killing people? So this is nothing new.
Why
This is
is it
nothing new.
no,
so
but
easy for us to unite when we are upset?
but
Why is it so easy for us to unite when we are offended? Like
because
you just said, it didn't
what I,
matter if you're Republican, Democrat, whether, a doctor or a janitor. Everyone, I mean, in Miami, those manifestations, those
yeah,
demonstrations are
but
historic.
what
Why is
happened?
it so easy for us to do that?
Well, it's easy because at the time that we're offended, we're all speaking in one voice.
Right. Okay.
And
So
that
how can we speak in one voice in this
exactly.
election?
So what I think we need to do, and it was mentioned here, we need to keep having the dialogue, and we, we need to speak in that one voice and in a bipartisan way, and it can be done, because the one thing that we all have in common, we all love Haiti, we love the Haitian community, we love Haiti, and we want to see it do well. One of the things that I think we're not realizing, back then we didn't have any political influence. We do
We did
now.
not.
We did
Yeah,
not
we
back
had people
then, but
representing
we
us.
exactly.
Right.
But now that we do, we need to speak in what, now that we do, you know what, we're still not speaking in one voice. Because I'll give you a prime example. When, with all of the violence that was going on in Haiti, there was a group of us that wanted the help, wanted some security in Haiti, and there's another group that said no because we had the occupation before. And so we don't believe, we don't want anybody's help. And I'm like, people are dying. How do you not want anyone's help? So what happened in between is that we've given them excuse to do whatever they want because they don't know what to do. And they used to tell us exactly, could you tell us what you want? Because we're speaking with this
Right.
group and this group is this. We're speaking with that group and that group is saying this. So again, and this is a hard subject. It's not an easy one. I wish
Right.
it's easy.
Right.
We need to just keep having the
Keep
dialogues that we're having.
having the
We need
dialogue. Definitely.
and then we need to come with a common goal because, like you said, when we are united, we are a
Yeah, when we that's
and
how
now
we got our independence.
exactly.
Bukia, how can we have one voice in this election?
Well, if I may add that, I know there's,
Yeah,
well,
that's what she's saying, Cynthia, because we
cannot
can't
be,
hear.
it's in the real life, in the real world, you cannot be just one voice because that's what each coin two sides. Not two people are alike. People will have diverse visions, views about the political, about what's happening, and it is up to them to have the right and the voice to express their feelings based on how they see things. We do not have, we don't see things the same way all the time. And what I see, what I've lived myself, I've always been a conservative person. I grew up in a conservative house, and I've always been attacked for being a conservative. And whether it was Charlie Baker was a moderate Republican in Massachusetts, when I lost my support for Charlie Baker, the majority of the people in the community came and attacked me. Are you losing your mind? You can be black and an immigrant, a Republican at the same time. One has nothing to do with another. I think education needs to be happening to understand that we need to coexist. And the left have gone so far left and brainwashed that you should be one way if you're black. If you just agree to be too much to the sound of your own drum, then you get attacked by your own. I think we should all have our choice to vote for whoever we believe. It's not going to be a united or one voice story. That's just a fairy tale. It does not work. You could see Democrats calling up on the Republican when things are going wrong, but when Democrats are diminishing, damaging, killing our brothers and sisters, every Democrat turn the other, to look the other side, the other way. They let it happen. So there could not be there's a permanent y'all. Between clean for police. So we are all accomplice to what is happening here because we turn our heads and look the other way when Democrats are doing us wrong. But the moment when Republicans say,
Bukia, one moment. Hold on a minute, Bukia. One moment. What'd you say, Mary?
Yeah, I'd like to interrupt. I didn't. My intention in speaking in one voice didn't mean one party. That's not what I mean. I
Okay.
don't think that we all have to be Democrats and we all have to be Republicans. I'm not saying that at all. Republicans and Democrats sometimes vote on the same items. We just need to agree. For example, let me use Haiti as an example. We just need to agree. You know what? What is our ask for the Haitian community here, or how are we trying to influence the Haitian foreign policy towards Haiti from the U.S. side, right? And I'll give you an example of something that Neon is working on. Neon is working on advocating for a Marshall Plan for Haiti to ask for $50 billion to help to help rebuild Haiti. Just like we send money to Ukraine, we send money to Taiwan. That's an issue that Republican or Democrat that are happen to be of Haitian descent, and even if you're not of Haitian descent, can agree on. You know what? It is in our best interest to make sure that Haiti is a safe place. And we
Right, but I
support it.
also
So
think
that
I think I also think it should be priority as well for the Haitian Americans living here, we can have one voice. What do we think? What do the Haitians in each party here in America believe is the priority for our community here? I believe we can have one voice when it comes to that. And Bukia, when we say one voice, again, we're not saying one party. We are saying one common interest. What is the priority for Haitians in America?
I think
Haitian Americans.
I think the problem is we
One common interest.
Right.
Except the other side is not very tolerant towards the right.
Okay. All right. So now we're getting into a lot of Democrats and Republicans, and I really just want
and
to,
I and I
stay on the issue of how can we motivate our community. We are Americans, right, of Haitian descent. How can we motivate our community to come out in this election? It is very important to
and
vote.
I think that's the problem, Cynthia. Until we realize that we can work together as one, and we're just focusing on one side and the other side, what's one person doing and what's one party doing and they're not doing, that's the problem. We can't move past that. We can't have a blaming game. We have to work together, whether you a party that I affiliate with or not. What is the common goal for us as those who have the education, as those as a public servant, as those who are working in the community, who sees the effects that are happening to these people? What can we do together? And I think we won't be able to do that if we keep going back and forth and blaming what party is doing this and what party is not doing that. Forget about party. As human beings, where we know we came from and what our parents went through to get here, how can we make sure that the next generation or the next group of migrants who are here legally, by the way, how can they move forward with the resources and access that is available to them when we
in
come
this
together
great in this
in this
great country.
great
In this great country. We're gonna leave. Bukia, give us your 15 minutes, your 15 seconds. Your 15 seconds, not minutes, sister.
Tanisha, I agree with you. What we need to do is to provide as much assistance and support to our fellow brothers and sisters that are here. I myself, beside my job, volunteer to sit with the newcomers to fill out applications for TBS so they can get job employment, so they can learn English, so they can try to find jobs to support themselves. I would work with the people, I don't care who it is, when it comes to a company, good, to the good by our community, to help our brothers and our sisters. I can always put my differences aside. I cannot speak for everyone because, of course, I know this, but I always put what's important, what is my community. My community aspect. So to those who are able to vote in this upcoming election, if you feel that you are better off now than you were 4 years ago, if you feel like you bought food and gas better than 4 years ago, then vote for the president that makes you feel that way. But you feel like life is harder for you now than 4 years ago, then I invite you to join me for President Trump, because the economy was much better under Trump. And the middle class, we here when we're working, we're not only working for ourselves, we're also working to support our business back home in Haiti. And if the economy is crushing us, how are we going to be able to keep a roof over our head, never helping our brothers and sisters and families in Haiti? So we need a government that the outside world respects, a government that was not, allow so many wars around us, was not distribute all of our funding. That is funding on wars while Americans are living on the streets, but then people on our land here are in poverty. So I encourage everyone to vote. You should whoever you vote, but if what I said resonates with you, please consider voting for Donald J. Trump.
Thank you, Bukia. Thank you, sis.
Thank you, ladies. It was a pleasure.
Merci.
Same here, pleasure.
Merci, sis. And Vice Mayor, your 15 seconds.
My 15 seconds is, I have to kind of do a little rebuttal here. I like it when people said, oh, if 4 years, your 4 years, or if you want change. Listen, Kamala Harris was the vice
president. Everyone knows that the vice president is not the president. Just because she's the vice president, it doesn't mean that if we vote for her, that it's going to look like what Biden has done. She'll have a different leadership. I'm not saying that it's gonna, she's gonna do everything drastically different than him, but she's not going to be identical to him. And so this thing about people making it seem like, she had the position already is not fair and not just, in my opinion. And then I keep hearing about, the it was better under the other president, or financially it was better and stuff. How better really was it? How much better was it? And is financial the only criteria, or the most important criteria? So the person could be, and I'm exaggerating, a murderer. A person could have bad character, and because of that, that's the reason why we would put somebody in leadership. I think leadership is bigger than that. Yes, I want someone that is going to have fiscal responsibility, but I want someone that has the moral capacity, and to lead and to direct. Someone that's going to be sensitive to all persons,
Thank you.
especially persons that are of immigrant background. So I encourage you, and I'm going to end. I'm going to encourage you all to go and vote. This is a healthy dialogue. Go and vote. But I encourage you. Let me just say that I will be voting for Kamala Harris for president. And don't forget to vote down the ballot.
Thank you. And Tanisha?
Thank you, Cynthia, first and foremost, for inviting me tonight to have this healthy conversation. And thank you for all those who are tuning in now to hear us from our different perspective. But for me, I will be voting for my sorority sister, Vice President Kamala Harris. The reason being is that we see how our country is going, plain as day. We have someone who's running for office that needs no name, 34 felonies, sexual assault allegations. Okay, we need someone who's going to be strong and make history to show what it means to be a woman of color in a leadership position that will give all women the opportunity to be a leader in their own community, to advocate for justice, to advocate for women's rights, to advocate for the immigrant community. We all come from all walks of life, and we have given an opportunity to live the American dream through coming to this country, that we all take advantage of the opportunities that has given to us. So I encourage everyone to vote Democrat up and down the ballot, especially for Vice President Kamala Harris, because democracy is what we need. Democracy is what we have, and democracy is what we will hold on to. So please go out and vote November 5th, and make sure you spread the word to vote Democrats up and down the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Merci en pile. Merci en pile. This was a very wonderful, nice conversation. It could have gotten a little heated, but it didn't. It did not. Thank you all so much. For those of you watching, please, we encourage you to go out and vote. I know we were talking about the Haitian American community, but
Vote.
we are Americans first and foremost. We love this country, and may God bless
America.
America. Thank you all so much. Good night.
Good night.
Nah.